Hello, this is Mark Tucker, and we are going to, in this video, cover the Jovo Game Starter project. And it is a Jovo 4 project that helps you get started creating games. It includes a number of different plugins. The one that we're going to look at today is the PlayFab plugin and also Player Generator. But this is meant to be a starter project to get you going as quickly as possible creating games. So what we've done is we've already pulled down this code, did an npm install to get the latest packages. And in a previous video, we've created a title over here called Jovo Game, and we could go into this title settings and grab a title ID out of there. And we've done that to help configure, and we have no players here. There's also this Jovo Debugger set up, and that's going to help us test our code without having to have connect it to a voice UI. So let's go ahead and take a look at the code for this. And here is the project, the Jovo project, and it's in the app TS file. And here's the player generator. It's going to help us generate display names and avatars. And you can look at the documentation for that on the marketplace. But we're setting the max length here to 25 because that is the max length of a display name that's allowed in PlayFab. So down here in PlayFab, this is the title ID that we pulled out of the Game Manager PlayFab Developer Console, that website we were just on. And there are configuration values for login and leaderboard. So let's go over these really quick. So this information request parameters, we're saying that yes, we want to return back when we log in as part of the result that comes back from PlayFab. We want to get the player profile information, and we want to have the things returned be both the display name and the avatar. We also want to have player statistics coming back, and the only player statistic we're asking for is the score. And this is the thing that we're going to build our leaderboard off of. This is just kind of a convenience because these things will get returned anyway, and it's just a way of saving you a round trip if you want to initialize some values with what the current score is. And then user data, we're doing an extended profile in this example. You don't have to. It does have some overhead of making additional API calls to get that extended profile, which is stored in a player's user data. But in this case, I wanted some additional information coming back. And so the key that it's going to be stored out in user data is the extended profile. And so this is saying get that back when we log in. So that's the main setting. What happens is when you log into PlayFab for the very first time, it's going to create and you'll have to supply the Jovo user ID. And if it doesn't already have a user linked up with that custom ID, then it's going to create a player in PlayFab. And when that happens, then we need to provide, well, it'll create it without any profile information. You can do that. But we want to have a nice profile. We want to be able to have players with names, and we want those to show up in leaderboards. So that is what we're going to look at now. So if we come down here to this on new profile, this gets called whenever PlayFab is has just created a new player and gives us a chance to also create a profile at this time. So this is where we're using Player Generator to say just generate a profile, and this profile coming back is going to have a display name, an avatar, and a color. These two things are things that PlayFab supports directly in their profiles, and we want this additional information, what the current locale is. Maybe we can display a flag or something on our leaderboard, and a color or something. So that's what we're adding, this additional extended profile information. If we go back up here, what's going to happen is when this is called, we're going to get that profile information. We'll call it to PlayFab and say, update this player profile information. If for some reason there's an error or like the display name's not unique, then it's going to fail, and this is saying, hey, retry that 2 times and see. If not, what's going to happen is the player is going to be created without a profile, and there's a flag in settings where you can, in the session data settings, where you can decide if you want to try to create the profile later. So that's the login part. If we look at the leaderboard, we have some settings. Top set to 5. It could be a value from 0 to 100. Same with neighbor max, 0 to 100. But you want to keep it low, especially in a voice application. So what we're saying is always return the top 5 players, ranked 1 through 5. Also, return the current player, so whoever's asking for the leaderboard, and 2 of their neighbors for a total of 3. So this is going to grab the current player, the player just before and just after them in the ranking. We've also said that we want this extended profile information to be called to get some additional information, because in this case, the reason why we do that is if we want the information to show up in the leaderboard. If we don't want it, then don't, because it's a required so there's a max total of 5 plus 3, so 8 people in this leaderboard, but there could be duplicates. But in this case, there could be 8 additional calls that need to happen for each of these different players to get this user extended profile data. So we may not want to do that. We can also specify what information we want to come back on the leaderboard to show. So we can have it just be the display name, or we can have both. So that is the configuration in here. So I think we're ready to get started here and test this out. So let's go back to our code here and see what happens. So we're going to launch here, which is going to simulate the very first time logging in. And we can start seeing, like, this is the session. It's saying, yes, sure enough, this is the new session. This is stuff that Jovo already provides. This user information, there's a user ID that's associated with that. That's what we're using for the connectivity to PlayFab. And we can see, oh, in this session data PlayFab login info, this is the result coming back. So here it is saying, oh, this is a newly created player. And this is the ID that PlayFab identifies that player as. And we can start seeing some of this other information coming back. So it looks like we've got some additional information here. That's good. If we look at the session ticket, we might need that for later API calls. This login status was new user. And it says that is the display name updated, so it did successfully create this user in PlayFab, and that's it. So let's take a look over here in PlayFab then and see what happens. If we search for a player, we have a new player, Cloudy Wombat 3974, and we can take a look here at this this data inside there. So that's the display name and avatar that we had set before. And if you come down here, this custom ID, this is the Jovo user ID. So this is how the link is happening from the user that Jovo automatically creates for you, and this, in essence, an anonymous login for PlayFab. We might also take a look at this player data. It's also called title data, but here you'll notice there's an extended profile. Here's the color and the locale, and we have a JSON editor. We can look at that in, but that is the information for that. So that's good to know. And let's see, we've got a leaderboard all set up. And if we look at that leaderboard, there is nobody on the leaderboard. All right, so let's go to our Jovo Debugger and let's play a game. So we're going to say, oh, we're going to start a game. And so it's say, hey, a game consists of 3 turns. You can answer either correct or wrong. 2 correct wins. So what is your answer? So this is where you would build your own logic of whatever the game is. But in this case, I'm saying, oh, I've got a correct answer. I've got another correct answer. And congratulations, I've got a 3rd correct answer. and it's saying, all right, way to go. Congratulations, you've won the game. Well, let's see what I've won here. I'm going to go over here and do a check on the leaderboard, and it's saying, congratulations, you were ranked #1 on the leaderboard with a score of 11. So if we flip back to PlayFab and refresh here, we should be able to see that now we have our player, Cloudy Wombat, with a score of 11. And so this is the first leaderboard. And so that's all set, ready to go. So as other players come in, then they'll be able to do their scores, get on the leaderboard. And this is all set up, and it's been really quick. Probably less than 20 minutes total with setting up your accounts, pulling down this code, configuring this title in PlayFab, and getting going. So this has just been really quick to show you how easy it is to use PlayFab and some of the major features that you can use. So wish you great success in creating games and looking forward to your feedback. In another video, we'll talk about setting up badges and using Badgerific, but just kind of a quick peek of that. You can go ahead and take a look, and behind the scenes things were happening, and because of this game that we played, I've already earned 4 badges, and we could look at the data behind the scenes on exactly what's been happening there, but that is going to be for another day. But this is exciting. So good luck with your development, and let me know any feedback. And if you want to help, just let me know that as well. Thank you.